Yep. A very tragic thing happened. A community college that I'm very familiar with. What was that? The college that was on TV yesterday. So just kind of a crazy, really crazy coincidence that that was the college that helped me get my high school diploma in college credits. So it's just pretty shocking and eerie to me right now. How coincidental it actually is. Pretty pretty sad. Um, People would prey on people when they know that they're in a position where they won't defend themselves or they won't stand up against other people, like what you've seen in France when that was a good idea. I have to admit, when Fox brought one of the gentlemen that helped stop the terrorist plot in France recently. He was an American. He also had been to something to do with the Umpqua Community College. Like I said, a very familiar with that college. I know the entire college like the back of my hand. When you say if like you could actually say that and mean like I know everything about my hand. I know the layout, basically the land there. That's how familiar I am with it, with the place. So I spent a lot of time there. It's a very beautiful place. That's all I could really remember was um, how pretty it was, how pretty the whole place is. It's surrounded by the North Umpqua. It goes around the college, like you've seen. Now the river went around it. That's the North Umpqua. We've got two Umpquas in that area. There's a South Umpqua and a North Umpqua. And the North Umpqua comes from out of the Glide area. When you go out Diamond Lake Boulevard, that's where um, out that way is where that river begins. Out that way in the I can't remember the name of the mountain range, but there's what we were taught was there's three different mountain ranges that converge on that area there. So it's it's a real pretty place and all kinds of nature and things to do um, out in the place. You want to get away from the city or go and enjoy some quiet time. It really is a tranquil and peaceful place to be, live, or just enjoy nature. It's a very wonderful place. But anyways, on to this. I just wanted to say that I don't know too many people if you actually believe in these straw polls, if you if you feel them all completely 100%. I'm gonna do a screen share real quick, and I'm gonna just share this. Look, nobody nobody is for Chris Christie or Jeb Bush, and they've got them up on the very top of the platform, and they put Donald Trump at the bottom. I see that you got Marco Rubio at the bottom too, but he was rising up in polls. But do we really want establishment with any of these other people? Is that what we want? I've been in the Republican Party my whole entire life that I've been voting, my whole entire voting career. I put it on the line that I have voted straight down the line Republican every time I ever voted. So if anybody thinks that Republicans are guilty, I'm guilty as charged for voting Republican for 20 years, for 20 straight years. Hardcore Republican. I don't believe the liberals at all. They waste money. They do it on purpose. So I don't even really want to talk about them because then they'll just try to make me look evil, or they'll talk about how evil I am or something like that. And I really want to do another video right after this one This one here, I just want to say right here, is anybody else not really serious about, I would say, Ben Carson and Donald Trump. I like Rand Paul, but a lot of people that are going to vote Republican kind of put up some kind of a, I don't know, they're trying to argue, debate me with Rand Paul, but Rand Paul is always, whatever, I think he's always tried to do the right thing, and he's a politician, so it's kind of hard to have somebody who's in here if we're trying to get away from the establishment. I used to like Lindsey Graham. I used to like Mike Huckabee. I used to like all of these guys, the idea of it. But I think that there's rhino types. They're too establishment, and they're going to go after the wrong things, the wrong time. They're not going to listen to the people. So, who out of all these guys do you think are even still listening to the people? These people still listen to people. They're gonna try and screw me. I'll move on because really, school these people, and then singled out Christians, hateful individual. I'm not. That's for a different. That's a different topic for a different time. I just want to know what one of you peoples think any of those guys are even still serious about what people say to them that vote for them. And there's going to be a bunch of people that are going to go and vote in the election, regardless of what they know or heard what they heard or anything like that. So they're going to be establishment right down the line, regardless of whatever is helpful. So nobody really wants to consider maybe having trying to get the young people to maybe think more about registering for the Republican Party so that they can help choose which one of those guys. You don't think it's really time to go back to responsibility? We don't need responsibility. Alright. Things have gone way too reckless. And it's just really ridiculous up to this point in time that they're going to try to come in here and bury Donald Trump underneath the thing whenever he's been floating all this time, and he's saying now that he's going to drop out if he falls off in the polls. And then they're going to what? They're going to give us one of these rhinos like Chris Christie or Jeb Bush or something like that. It's really ridiculous, and I don't know exactly who's all doing the straw polls and whatever this and that, but I wish they would let people make up their own mind. So I don't know. I'm not too sure that Donald Trump or Ben Carson couldn't help the situation out today, but I don't know what else anybody else is trying to think we're going to have out there to vote for. They want to put me in a position where I'm just not going to want to vote. I just won't probably vote. And somebody wants to say, like, I don't have an opinion or something like that if I didn't vote. Well, I think I do have an opinion. What is the point of voting for something that you see out there that's completely corrupt that you can't do anything about? If my vote isn't going to do anything anyways, they're going to get somebody to keep strong arming us, paying Wall Street more money, this left ludicrousy, okay, to punish America, keep punishing Americans. So Republicans gonna end up helping them out again. They all bash each other. They don't even explain what they're gonna do. They don't. From what I understand, what I listen to, I don't hear them saying anything about what they're gonna do to solve the problems that's going on in our country, and the things that this leadership has caused is just completely irresponsible and completely reckless. I don't even know how anybody could possibly say that um, that is that is good for our nation, you know. And then people like that will use that as an excuse to say things like 9/11 happened, like we deserved it or something, like, because we're punishing people in the world, which is ludicrousy. It's complete lunacy. I don't know. I don't know what people think that the state of their own country should be in, but obviously they're wrong about this, and you can't even get a straight story out of the media. You can't even get a straight story on who a person is, what exactly happened, who died. So all of this is just squandered like that. Our whole entire and our country looks like Benghazi basically. So great. Woo! Good job, people. Good job. Good job for the way. Yeah, that guy's right. The way that you vote. Good job. The way that you vote. You vote just right, you know? You vote ludicrousy. You vote the way that people don't even want to go and vote, because I don't know what you think, you know? Who do you think these people aren't from the left? You don't think that they're not helping Wall Street out, wasting trillions of dollars? I mean, making sure they get their say and their $1 trillion worth, you know what I mean? Spent on this and that, you know, complete waste. And uh it's mindless, it's senseless, it's no direction, there's no budget, and then they want to lie, they want to try and lie, because now it's political season, it's politics season, so they're going to try and lie to us that this leadership here has done anything responsible for America. Like they haven't totally turned their back on the whole entire world, and it's complete lunacy. What in the world is wrong with people? You're gonna run hide inside a shell. You're gonna run and jump and find some shell or something somewhere and crawl up inside of it and disappear. You're just gonna disappear, vaporize away or something. You don't have to be responsible for any of y'all's actions. You know, the state of America is completely flipped upside down right now. And we need to hear as much as what people can do for us as possible. What is people's plan of action? So, um, I've only had responsible thoughts and very well, carefully thought out, helpful things about my country and what would be very most um, positive for this place, I thought. But for whatever reason, people, they're told things here and they believe certain things. It's really weird. It's ironic. Um, it's moronic, very much so at times, and you're seeing a actual true repeat of this nonsense. It's sure ludicrousy. Like going into Iraq, what in the world is going on with that? People don't want people to be able to have control of their states like we do over here. Did you know that when you go against and you think that it's ethnically wrong, or however you say that. It's not, but not morally obligated to it. So ethics, you're saying, generates our responsibility to leave those people alone. So it's not like, if we didn't go into Iraq, we wouldn't be screwed still. So we went into Iraq, so we got screwed, and we even see that in '91 with George Bush Senior, first one. We didn't go into Iraq. We got screwed. It's a fact. There you go. So I didn't even think of that point, but I was thinking pre or tense right now. Past tense up to the moment. Now, um, after going into Iraq, pulling out of Iraq, having to go back to Iraq, I'm like, and then there's one other point that I'm going to make about this incident that happened yesterday. If it's not a jihadi relation, like connection to jihadists, um, I just want people to really think about that one very carefully. Some are trying to say that this guy is a pagan. Now, do you really believe, okay, that what is this the first pagan to come and act on a massacre, or have there been pagans? I mean, it's something that I guess we all need to study or figure out, but not going after people for any reason, even if they could do something about it. It's um, unless they draw you in there like they did the police. The guy drew the police in there from what he did. So you wouldn't go and do anything about somebody without them uh, committing a crime or doing something that heinous in the first place. So I don't know. It's a very crazy thing. I haven't ever myself ever heard of pagans going out and committing acts that look like jihad, or whatever this guy thought he was. Maybe he did work himself up to thinking, um, so to go out and um, do what he did. So he hyped himself up to go and do it, and we're supposed to believe that there's no relation to Muslims. When basically that's all that I've heard lately is only Muslims doing that, and people that are in that ISIS piece of garbage in particular. So here we have it, another indication of weak leadership. So we're going to run and we're going to tell all of our veterans and all of the tough people, all the people that could do anything about anything in America, could stand up against toleration and say we won't tolerate this anymore. So now there's an intolerance towards jihadist movement, terrorist acts. So Obama wanted to get out of not calling this a terrorist act again, even though I'm going to call the guy a terrorist. So you want to draw the pagan cult group into it now and say that them and Wicca people are doing terrorist acts, are committing terrorist acts right now. So I personally will not be able to stop thinking that it is a terrorist act and it is directly connected to the group ISIS. The Obama administration calls them ISIL. That means that Obama's got his nose in those people's butt, in ISIS's butt. So he has no faith in us because he thinks that we deserve to be punished for whatever reason. And that's what people voted for. So don't ever talk to me about Republicans sending troops into Iraq or into war or anything like that, when you see this incompetent leadership here in America um, totally distort facts and the truth and put innocent people in harm's way left and right. It's like it's like definitely it sounded like a call to action from the other side, from the evil side. Especially if they were going after Christians. People mock Christians in this country way too much. I've been I've been protesting at least that much that Christians will stand up for a puke. Will stand up for people. Will go and talk to people. Will try and be reasonable with people. But yet Christians get singled out all the time, and I already know what it's like. The only difference between me is I was normally somebody who believed in Christianity, believed to be truth. I believe that's the right religion and the right thing that's going on. But I wouldn't ever really talk to people about it, or I would if somebody and me engaged in a conversation. But it was always to where nobody, even an atheist, that's where I was trying to explain to atheists that I talk to people all the time. You know, I don't. If we talk about religion, it's because it comes up. It's isn't because I necessarily they necessarily talk about it. It bears on history. So there's things that we might think is like fact or whatever that has something to do with something in their past, in the past. So um I don't, you know, I don't know. I don't know the answer. It was just so the the thing was just like this with the authorities, just dropped it. I mean, they were very professional. I mean, I'm not saying that they didn't handle the thing very I'd say professional is how I would describe the authorities. Um, but I don't really have the answer for this. Like I said, it really sounds like to me like you're telling people to give up their guns, or you're telling people like basically to run and hide. You're gonna tell you let this liberal leadership go on so much. You're gonna tell our military to run away or something. Yeah, until they need protection or they need something from them. That's serious. Then they'll use them. But the communists were very bad at using military people and mistreating them like that. They would use Stalin was a piece of garbage, in my opinion, as far as I'm concerned, because he had good leadership under him that would have not ever challenged him or tried to go above the guy, and he still killed the people off. So um, it's about as bad as Hitler without without really the Russians being able to put themselves in a gridlock like Hitler put the Germans in. Hitler put the Germans in a really bad position. But um, you know, I see some comments on here about Israel too. The Palestinian Authority are propagandists. So Obama probably praises them or whatever. He talks. He's like acting like said the other day, basically like Israel didn't uh, deserve to exist or something like that. It was really hateful. Um, so I don't know exactly what they think that is gonna translate when um, they are pushing the note so far with our protection, with their sovereignty, with their, even when we vote, they're getting people, making people go out and vote uh, 6 to 9 times, for crying out loud. Are you kidding me? That's all on the left. All on the left. I've made phone calls for the Republican Party. I've gone door to door. I've talked to people. I've registered people to vote. I've done my part. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, somebody who's coming from a position where I can relate even a bit. I'm just saying, it's really very sad and disappointing to see. This kind of thing is very tragic. Um, to use the situation for that and not really simply be able to share for a good time, at least until today, a good heartfelt moment with people. Um, it's just it's really I'm very disappointed. I really am. I gotta go. I'm gonna get upset because I am very, very disappointed.